So hello again everyone, and welcome to the back garden yard. Today I'm showing you what you need to be doing if you're growing tomatoes. That's right, if you're growing tomatoes, it's time to work them. If you're growing them on a trellis or in a cage, it's time to tie them up. So we're going to go ahead and look at these that I'm growing, and these here are Better Boy tomatoes. And as we can see, they are already, some of them almost chest high. On me, they're almost chest high. And what will happen is they will fall over. But if we tie them up, and this is what I like to tie them with, I will tie them with this twine. I buy this twine at Home Depot. It's just jute twine. And then we're going to tie them, but if you tie them correctly, you won't need shade cloth. And so what we're going to do is tie them so that all these leaders, and you can see how the leaders, let's see if we can demonstrate this here. So here's where the leaders have separated from the main stem that came out from the ground, okay? And then here is a leader that came out right here, went over here, and you can see it's got a little tomato on it. Well, if we had to trim that, a lot of people tell you to trim all these leaders, you wouldn't be having tomatoes here, and there's going to be some more there. But what we want to do is we want to take all these leaders and tie them back over to the trellis like this, so that what happens is as they grow higher and higher, they're going to create shade. You're going to create shade for the tomatoes that are on the bottom. So that's what we're going to do, is we're going to tie them there, and then when the winds blow and the storms come, they won't blow over. But they'll also, just like this one here, you can see that tomato's down there. Well, we're going to tie this to the trellis, and it is going to shade that tomato from the hot sun, so it can ripen without getting burned. And so that is what I've been doing for many years, and I'm going to demonstrate that today on these plants. Now I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, I've got 5 plants on about 15 feet of trellis. So that means about every yard I planted a plant. And you can see why I plant them so far apart, because here's one, and then you can see this leader here has come through the fence and has run all the way over to the other one. But that's what we want. We want them to create shade. So I'm going to go ahead and cut some pieces off right here, and then what we'll do is we will tie them up. And I can show you then the exact way I'm doing this. Okay, so I've got about 5 pieces of twine here. That'll be enough for demonstration purposes. And the first one I will do will be the one I just showed you that has the little tomato on it that's coming out this way. And what we want to do and just find a spot where you're not going to be pulling on the tomato, but you want it under a leaf so it won't slip out. And then we'll just pull it over to the fence and pull it up so it's just about even with it, and we'll just tie it off in a simple square knot. Pull it tight, and that's all we're going to do. And now we've got this one is going to be going out this way along the fence. Okay, well, we've got another one here that's coming out. So what we're going to do is we're going to push this one actually through the fence, and then we're going to tie this one right here so that it'll actually create shade for this tomato down here, and of course shade for that one. So we're going to go ahead and tie it off. And I think this is a good spot right here. Okay, and then we've got that one up, and I'm going to continue on down the fence. This one will be the same way, and making sure that I get these tied off so that they're actually going parallel to the fence and covering the lower tomatoes with shade. Now, so later on, when I need some new plants for the late summer garden, what I'll do then is I will clip off some of these leaders that have come out, or suckers, whatever you want to call them, and I'll root these, and that way I can have new tomato plants for the late summer garden. And I'll do that sometime in early June. But right now I want these to grow out, bloom, and make all the tomatoes they want to make. So let me go ahead and tie these up, and I'll come back at the end then and show you what I've done. Okay, so I have now finished the job. That took just about 15 minutes is all it took to come through here and tie these leaders up to the fence so they will run. This one's already enclosed by that fence, and I went around and I did it on both sides, and now they're going to be nice and sturdy. The wind and the coming storms won't blow them down, and every now and then you can just take one, and instead of tying it you can just push it through the fence and let it come out to the other side, and that'll give it support for quite a while. Later on it may need to be tied up. But there's one more thing I want to show you, and that is when you look down here, there's leaves that are actually touching the ground, and that really would let insects and disease come up to the plant. So cut that leaf off, and this one here is touching the ground. Just go ahead and snip them off, and that way then you're not likely to have nearly as big a problem with insects and with the fungus and stuff running up your tomato plants, because those leaves are at this point are totally not necessary. So let's cut them off, get them out, and when you see dirt on them, you know they've been touching the ground. And so let's get those off. If you got another one that's hanging low but not really touching, you can cut half the leaf off, the other half will survive. And anyway, so let's get those off the ground, and that way then you're going to have very healthier plants, and you won't get all that disease that comes up the leaves. And of course I'll go take these leaves and compost them, but that's the last thing I wanted to show you as you're coming out and working your plants, is take a few minutes and cut off these leaves now that are on the ground. And you can see that this is the base, and that I have worked it, and I've got it up off the ground, so when we get a lot of rain, nothing's going to puddle around it. All the water that flows down through here. So anyway, I'll finish cutting these leaves and everything, but I'll end this video now, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've learned something about how you can not have to use the shade cloth for most of your tomatoes. Now every now and then I will use some shade cloth if I got a lot of big tomatoes up top that are getting sunburned. I will put a little bit of shade cloth over the top of them. I have seen on the internet some very elaborate shade cloth things that must have cost hundreds of dollars, and they must be very hard to maintain. And there's just really no need to have to do that. And I'm in Georgia where it gets, you know, 95, 100 degrees in the summer. So I rarely use the shade cloth, and I grow a lot of nice tomatoes. So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next video.